back at it again with Let's Build the Ultimate Indoor Theme Park. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button before we jump into construction, because we're gonna need it. Today, we're going to be working on the main portion of the building because we've been slacking a bit. This place needs a roof and walls around the entire thing. Starting off by thickening up the front wall and adding a super long room out front. And we have this incline path that's super duper long and definitely a safety hazard. So I'm gonna have it zigzag back up and forth a little bit, peek into the new room that we just built, and try to make this a little bit safer, because if you're going up it in a wheelchair especially and you're going down, you need some spots to potentially like rest. It can't be just one long incline. That's a bit too much. And this big long room is later going to be used for the queue of another roller coaster. I'm not going to build that coaster today, but this long room just seemed like a really good spot to build the beginning of another coaster. Alright, that front wall is beefened up a bit. Now let's build the back and side walls, which is going to be made of the same wall texture as the coaster dome pit. And speaking of, we got a lot of good name ideas for this indoor theme park. But my favorite idea that was in a comment was to name this park the Birdcage. And I liked that name a lot because one, it fits into the theme of having birds, because Toucan Kingdom, that is a bird, and I think maybe we could lean more into birds. And then we can have individual names for all the separate domes as well. So we built these walls and I copied them over to the other side to kind of just see what this whole entire thing looks marked out. And I love the shape of it. I think it's super cool. And I'm happy that we're doing some symmetry so I can build some stuff and then copy it over. And the reason we have these gigantic flat walls across the whole entire thing is I don't want you to be able to tell that it's a giant dome when you walk in from the very front. I want it to kind of seem like it's a weird rectangular building, almost a bit corporate. And then you walk in and you see a dome and you're like, whoa, what? I did not see this coming. Although, I plan to have domes on the left and right hand side of the entrance as well, and those will be a bit more visible. But this main dome, I want to look a bit more rectangular from the entrance. And now it's time to place a roof. Didn't think we were gonna keep this thing exposed that long, did you? And I really want to place a roof now so we can start really feeling the indoor element of this theme park, because right now it kind of feels like I'm building a theme park outdoors and I don't want that energy. I'm trying to really encapsulate indoor energy right now. So let's go ahead and cap this thing. Now I'm leaving gigantic rectangles open for sunlights because we want a lot of natural light to come in. And a part of me wishes that we were building this in Planet Zoo right now, because in Planet Zoo they have weather, including snow. So I think it'd be super cool to see this whole entire coaster dome covered in snow. That would be so pretty. But unfortunately, this game does not have that. Hopefully Planet Coaster 2, we have weather. At this point, I just need to make a video talking about all the things that I want in Planet Coaster 2. Here, how about this? Today's comment question of the day is going to be, what would you like to see in Planet Coaster 2? What new settings, what new features? And I'm going to take your guys' comments and I'm going to make a whole video dedicated towards things we want to see in Planet Coaster 2, where I'm going to include all the things I want along with all of your guys' ideas in the comment section of stuff that I left out. But let's make the ultimate video of things that we want to see in Planet Coaster 2, and hopefully Frontier will see it and we might make some meaningful change in the next Planet Coaster game. If it ever exists, which it's going to. Of course, we're being hopeful, we're being positive right now. Of course we're gonna get it someday. Since it's relevant at this very moment, I would love more glass pieces, especially larger ones. Like just having one giant glass rectangle to place in all of these holes would be awesome, instead of having to use the 16 panes that I used. I just think transparent things look nice, and being able to see through them and see stuff behind it is always cool. It allows you to have a foreground and more backgrounds as you see through windows, and it's just really nice. I had a really good time building this though. I thought it would be more stressful because it is a pretty large, kind of complex build, but it ended up coming together pretty quickly and wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it would be to design and put together. Now I'm leaving the corner of this building open because that is the direction the next dome is going to be. So we're going to build some hallways and some shopping and more stuff in that direction. And already this is looking pretty good. In the past several minutes we've done a lot of transformation, and we still have a lot of space in this room, which is where I'm going to be placing another roller coaster. But yeah, just getting some cleaning work put in, making sure all of our lines look nice and clean. And so far, this is looking sleek. I'll tell you what. Next line of business is we're gonna build some transfer tracks. So what I did is I built another RMC coaster, and it's gonna be the fake RMC coaster. It's not a real one. And I have this brake line, and I made a tiny little curve, and I'm gonna build one more straight section of track. Then I'm gonna delete the little curve and the station both, and make sure that these are both lined up equivalently with the track that we have here. And this is going to be our fake transfer track. You know, it's just like the track that's off to the side where they store the trains when they want to do some operation, or it's also a spot to possibly place a spare train. I've never built a transfer track in Planet Coaster before. This is my first time adding this sort of detail, but I thought it'd be fun to put in here because it looks cool. And it's cool how we opened and connected all of this up. We have like a gigantic long hallway, and this path right over here is the path that you get on right when you come in through the entrance of the park. So we're gonna create another circulatory vein of paths and connect this path up with the new section of path that we built at the very beginning of the episode, and connect all this up so there's a giant circle so everybody can flow a lot more easily. And this will also sort of lead as a shortcut to some of the other sections of the domes. Now, something we're going to do next episode that I did not do in Let's Build the Ultimate Theme Park is we're going to start episode 11 just playing the game a little bit and just going through our park and looking at what we have so far, kind of talking about the plans, and just spending a few minutes just playing the game in real time with sound turned on and just kind of paying attention to some of the different details instead of being in a time lapse. And I want to do this every 10 videos. So episode 11, 21, 31, 41. Just give us a time to, slow things down a bit and just really appreciate what we're building in real time. And it'll also give us some time to kind of focus on the details of the park that sometimes I overlook, because when you're playing in time-lapse mode, not everything's important, but when we slow things down, we're going to kind of just try to pay closer attention. And right now I'm trying to clean all this area up around the chain lifts for the RMC coaster. Just building some nice structure and some caves around it so it blends in from the building to the sort of cave-like station that we built for the coaster. And pretty much just trying to make this look as seamless as possible while maximizing the use of our space. And in one of the upcoming episodes, we need to spend some time decorating the inside of the coaster station and the queue leading up to the ride. And speaking of rides, we're placing another one up here with a Venetian carousel. And the reason I chose this one is because I felt like out of all the flat rides that we had, it fit the theming the best, because it's a bit of a old western theme up here. And this is kind of a small western looking carousel with a bunch of little horses. And I definitely want to have more rides on these upper levels that we're building, but it's just taking some time to get up here in the first place. But we plan to have thrills everywhere through this park, in all the little corners from top to bottom. Because even though our building's big, I'm trying to also not make it too big. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't need to be huge. I think it's cooler to have a good sized structure and then to really maximize the use out of the space that you do have. And you just get a much more visually appealing park that way. And sorry if you hear any sound in my background. My new roommate is a dubstep producer, and he goes crazy sometimes, and whenever he's producing, his bass thumps. I don't think it really picks up too much on the mic, but if you hear any thumping and start bopping your head, that's why. I like it though. I see it as a good thing. I want to be around music production as much as possible, and I freaking love dubstep and all EDM. Once I make more money, I want to go to more festivals, because those are some of the most crazy things right now. I actually really want to build an EDM festival room inside this indoor theme park. Sort of like a concert venue, but a room that's like built for EDM festivals. And you know, any concert venue. It doesn't have to be just EDM. I just really want a concert venue in this theme park because, you know, Lil Tall needs a place to perform. Lil Tall wants to get on stage, and what better place than in his own theme park? Which, quick reminder, if you haven't checked it out yet, look up Lil Tall on Spotify. I have new music coming out very, very soon. Also, I was very, very surprised by how much we were able to shove in this one little corner. We have our transfer tracks, a new carousel, a new barn-like building around the queue of the carousel, and just a lot of structural building to make sure everything is tied together. But I'm really, really happy with all that progress. And now I'm trying to just finish some details on this roof because it wasn't quite done and it needed to go back a bit further. And one thing I don't do on the roof today that I think I'm gonna add later is on the bottom side, I wanna have a layer of scaffolding in between every single row to like help support it from the underside. And then on top, I'm probably gonna place some air conditioners and stuff. But let me know in the comments if there's like any details you think I could add to the roof to make it look better. I am really excited that all the guests are gonna get a lot of that UV light though, keeping them tan. Okay, so next we're gonna place a wall between this wing of the bird cage and the pit. And I'm not entirely sold on how it looks right now. I might come and make this look a little bit better and blend it in. But for now, I think this will do. You know, just a wall to keep it all sealed up. We're making bits of progress at a time, and that's all we can ask for. And I'm gonna keep on adding some decorations to keep on making this look nicer. Some of these large decorations are some of the quickest things you can add to just really bring it. But we have a tent for a little campground, some wagons, covered wagons, the really fancy ones. Dude, I wish I had a covered wagon. Screw buying a car, I'm gonna go to a covered wagon. That's how you get, I don't know what you get from it, but it sounds cool. I mean, on the for real, catch me on my next Let's Play of Oregon Trail. We're gonna get our covered wagon, our oxen, our mule, our salt, and we're gonna cross the country. I'm a variety channel, baby. So now I'm creating a tower in the very center. This is mainly to act as a support for the roof because we don't have like any pillars. So we're building this as a giant central pillar to hold the roof up. And it's also going to be a platform for the monorail to run through, which looks really cool. And it'll also have a roller coaster kind of playing with it that we're gonna build later. And by later, I mean next episode. We're building a huge thrill ride and a new roller coaster next episode. Finally happening. I know I've been spending a lot of time with decorations, but I feel like the decorations are really the most important part and are what make watching the construction of the coasters really hit and impact the way they do. So we gotta go through it for the final product. Oh, and right here, I thought this would be a perfect place for a water wheel. Water wheels look so nice, such a good piece of scenery. Glad we could place this here, feeling blessed about that. Now our next major task is we're gonna complete the monorail circuit. It's gonna be a very, very rough draft because most of this place is still not built yet, but we're gonna map it out and just make it a complete circle so we can have trains circling this thing, because I think that would just make this whole entire place look a lot more fun and lively. So let's freaking do it up. So we have a station over on the east side of the complex. We're gonna run the track back through, and we're gonna have our second station in the very center of the middle dome. And then we'll have another station on the west side. Oh yeah. We're gonna run it through, let's terraform. We're gonna create a big indention, and we're gonna build a monorail station underneath that cliffside and blend it all in. I'm gonna try to fix some of the trees. We still have so much decorating to do in this main coaster pit dome of the bird cage. The bird cage is such a cool name for this theme park. The bird, you all want to go to the bird cage and ride some roller coasters? Like, that sounds so cool in context. Heck yeah. But we do still have so much decorating to do in this building. I know I've kind of been working on the wing for the past several episodes since we started building the pizza den. I've just been kind of deviating and decorating that side. But it just felt like the right thing to do. I was kind of trying to piece everything together to help it all form shape. Alright, and let's go ahead and connect it up. I'm going to use the autocomplete button because this is just temporary. And we're going to add some trains, and ooh, finally, we have some monorail trains circling the bird cage. I'm going to clean this up. Oh, there's still so much to do, guys. I have so much in my head that I have to do for this park, and just trying to make sure I do one piece at a time. So all it is one step at a time. That's all you can do, and you got to put your full effort into each step as you go. And one last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the edge of the roof that we just built. Now that I built the wall up, I'm doing a double thick flat roof piece to sort of create a edge for this whole entire thing. And I'm going to build this pillar up to give us a support, because we're still going to build a lot on top of this entrance section. You guys might not be able to picture it yet, but we're going to have another coaster station right above the entrance. Well, I kind of want to do it sooner than later now that I think about it. And I kind of feel weird having this indentation here on the edge of the roof, but I also think it looks fine. The one problem we could have is like rainwater, but we can just say there's some gutters there that take the water in and flush it out if there is rain. It might be worth the work to kind of blend this whole entire wing in better to the dome, but also I think the clean edge that I built looks really nice at the same time, so I'm just gonna have to sit on it and see what happens. But apart from some of these edges I'm cleaning up right now, we are done building for this episode. Dang, we got quite a bit done. And after doing all this, I need to celebrate by building a roller coaster. So the next couple episodes, we're gonna build some more coasters and just get some more rides in this before we spend a lot more time on scenery. I know when I build more rides, it means I need to spend even more time on scenery, because you know that's just kind of how it works. More rides, more scenery. But I'm okay with just pushing with some coasters. But everything we built now is looking really nice. We have our carousel. Let's look at everyone riding this. This is so funny, the double decker, especially when it's full. I love these single riders on this top little section. They're just killing it. I'm so proud of them. But here's what the finished wing looks like with the new roof put on. Woo! It's looking clean and shiny. And now we have the monorail running through it. This just feels like one of those episodes where we took a big leap forward, and I want that to happen for the next several episodes. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. And in the next episode, we're going to be building a roller coaster that fits right into this corner right over here. Take care, y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.